twist every turn from the beginning. NBC News correspondent Dasha Burns, who joins us now live from Pittsburgh. Dasha, you've been covering, as we mentioned, every single angle of this race, frankly, for months. This was a key seat for Democrats to flip, and we're learning that Oz has, in fact, called Fetterman to concede. So what happened in the end, Dasha? What ultimately was the deciding factor for voters? And frankly, what does it sort of tell us as a bellwether for perhaps the rest of the country?
Well, Morgan, you're right. This was absolutely monumental. This was a key seat for Democrats to flip. And look, I was at Fetterman headquarters last night. We were all, the media and the campaign, buckling down for a long night and a long couple of days. No one expected the race to be called this early, for this win to be this decisive. You said it there, Oz conceding this morning, his campaign manager telling me, so we are not going to be looking at recounts or lawsuits as we were preparing to potentially do. And look, in the end, once the race was called, the Fetterman crowd behind me was chanting every county, every vote. That was a Fetterman strategy from before the primary and to the end. And when you look at sort of the big map, the big picture, he outperformed Biden in key places, and Oz underperformed Trump. And Fetterman really was able to make some headway in some of those rural counties, some of those working class counties where he was trying to win over Democratic voters that left the Democratic Party a long time ago and have since started voting Republican. And when we look at some of the exit polls, we're seeing that, in terms of Fetterman's health, more voters thought he was good enough to serve than not. Campaigned hard on that abortion issue, and the hope for Democrats that would turn folks out seems to have come to fruition. I want you to take a listen to a little bit of Fetterman's victory speech last night. And in a statement this morning, Oz calling for people to put their partisan swords aside and work to get the job done. Morgan?
Dasha, just briefly before we let you go here, turning to the governor's race for just a moment, we know that Democrat Josh Shapiro defeated Trump-backed far-right Republican Doug Mastriano, but what were the deciding factors in that particular race?
From our experience here on the ground, Morgan, it was Republicans. It was Republican vote rejected, which I think says a lot about the state of affairs right now for the GOP, Morgan.
It sure does. All right, NBC News correspondent Dasha Burns for us there in Pittsburgh. Dasha, as always, thank you so much.